Yo, what's up guys? Ryan here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to have the highest quality export settings for your GoPro videos. So when you post your videos to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you have the highest quality, sharpest, best looking footage possible. If that sounds good to you, let's get right into it. Alright guys, Ryan again here. Now, before we get into talking about how to have the highest quality export settings, one of the most important things but even before the export settings, is how you film the video. You always want to make sure that you're filming in the proper resolution, proper size, and proper aspect ratio for whatever it is, what platform you are posting to. Now, most of this, I get a lot of questions, is for Instagram. So for sake of this video, we're going to talk about Instagram video, but that means that you're filming in portrait mode, which means that the camera is turned like this, so that way you don't have to crop in all weird. If you have any model GoPro, you can get a vertical frame for it. It works amazing. But you want to shoot in the highest possible settings so that when you bring it into your editing software and then you export it and then you post it to the social media platform, it doesn't compress it and you lose all the quality. Now, the debate is out whether or not you should film in 2.7K or 4K. I personally only film in 2.7K strictly because I have an older laptop and 4K footage crushes my computer. So if you're not operating on a very high-powered machine, I would urge you to do 2.7K, because at the end of the day, all the social media platforms are going to down-res it, and it's going to look very similar. So you want to start at the highest possible, which 4K is the highest possible, but it also is the hardest to edit, again, if you don't have the proper equipment. With that said, shoot in 2.7K, that's my best recommendation, and I like to shoot in 2.7K 60 frames per second, and I'll get into that in a second as to why, but 2.7K 60 works, in my opinion, the best for social media videos. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, what is the deciding factor on what makes a good exported video that looks really good and high quality on social media? It comes down to data rate or bit rate, or actually kilobits per second. Now I know that might have just got confusing, but the higher the data rate and the bit rate, the higher quality video you will have, provided it was filmed in 2.7K or 4K, or even higher if you have those nice red crazy cameras. But with the data rate, I actually messed this up a lot when I was starting out, meaning just because I didn't know. And depending on what editing software you're working with, you have the option to change the data rate or the bit rate before you export it. Usually you have to hit a button that says manual. I will show you guys on ScreenFlow. I use ScreenFlow to edit my videos, but if you have Premiere Pro, Filmora, iMovie, there is these settings. You just have to find them in your specific editing software. Now, what is data rate? Data rate is like the kilobits. Actually, I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter what it is. All that matters is that when you go to export it, you need to have this setting correct. Okay, so the higher the data rates, the better quality of the video. I can recommend from trial and error that 18,000 kilobits per second gets you amazingly crisp footage. Now, there's probably some other people telling me that that's too high or that's too low, but it works. It's what I always use. And if you're seeing on my screen right now in ScreenFlow, this is the settings that I use. It's very simple, very easy, no matter what editing software you have. Raise the bit rate. As long as it's filmed in 2.7K or 4K, you will get a very crisp image. Because no matter what, Instagram does tend to down-res it a little bit and kind of mess with the quality when you upload it to Instagram. Now, if you're using things to transfer footage, I have a Mac, I use AirDrop. When you transfer the exported final video from your computer, you want to get it at the highest possible quality. So I would recommend either use Dropbox. Most video files, when they're filmed at 2.7K or 4K, are big. So Google Drive, Google Files, that will compress it. So if you're using that to send it to yourself, it's going to compress it more. So it's going to lower the quality. I am a big fan of Mac and their AirDrop software, or their AirDrop feature, because it keeps it high quality, sends it right to my phone, and I upload it. If you do not have that, I would recommend you send it to Dropbox and download it to your phone. Very simple, very quick process, but it keeps the resolution very, very high. Okay, so I'm gonna show you really quick on my computer, on my laptop, exactly what this looks like in my editing software, so you kind of know what to look for in your editing software, whichever it is you decide to use. All right guys, right now you're looking at my screen. Obviously this is ScreenFlow, which is my editing software of choice. Again, this works for any editing software. You just have to find where these settings are when you go to export your video. So I'm just gonna show you really quickly. So let's say I'm gonna drag this video in, and I'm gonna drag it in the timeline, and let's pretend to go to export this for, like, let's say I wanna put it on Instagram or YouTube or IGTV, it doesn't really matter. I use the same export settings every time. So we're gonna go ahead and click export here. Now, obviously name file, something cool. This is where you kind of got to find how this looks in your software. So right here, it has automatic or manual. And if I keep it on automatic, it's going to have presets, it's going to have the sizes, but it's not, in my experience, it's not always going to export it at the highest setting. So I go ahead and I hit manual, and then I go to, see, they have presets, web low, iPhone optimize, iPhone screen fill. I prefer just keep it web high, go to customize, and then again, I keep my frame rates at 30 FPS for most everything. That's why I shoot in 60, because if I want to slow it down, I can. This is what I'm talking about. This is the data rate, kilobits per second. I always just hit here, change it, and I go 18,000. I've tested a bunch of them. 18,000 seems to work the best for Instagram. I may be wrong, but most people always tell me how my stuff looks very high quality on Instagram. But that's really it. This is your audio stuff. I don't really mess with that at all. Keep that all the same. But you want to keep your frame rate, in my opinion, at 30 FPS, your data rate at 18,000. And be mindful that the higher the data rate, the longer the video takes to export. So the longer the video, the longer it's going to take. Most videos for Instagram seem to fall under a minute, so it shouldn't take more than 7 to 10 minutes to export the video. If I do this for stories and it's like a 15-second, it should take no more than like a minute. It's really quick. There is some Kodak stuff where it's single pass, multi-pass. I don't really mess with that. I leave it at single pass. But in my opinion, this data rate and the kilobits per second is what makes the video sharp and crisp on your Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform you choose. So that is what you want to focus on. And yeah, hope this is helpful. Give this video a like if you're enjoying it, if it was super helpful for you. I appreciate you. Okay, so I hope that was super helpful for you. A little message on editing softwares. There are tons that you can use. I prefer ScreenFlow. I think it's really good, but it does have some limitations. I know there's a lot better, but I'm able to do things very quickly using the ScreenFlow platform, mainly because it's very easy to have the export settings high. It's very easy to import clips. It's very easy to align the clips, bring in music. It's just a simple editing platform. It does, however, lack color correcting ability, so you can't get super crisp color correction in ScreenFlow. I can just mess with the contrast and stuff a little bit. It is a lacking feature. So no matter what editing software you're using, again, like I said, you can mess with the data rate. You can raise the data rate so you are exporting at a higher setting. Some presets, I know Premiere Pro, they have preset settings that you just hit it and it exports it as like portrait mode. I don't exactly know what those are specifically, but if you want to look that up, if you're using Premiere, I would urge you to check that out and see what they are specifically so you know what your export settings are at, because this is very important. It does matter, but the data rate is what makes that video look super crisp on your feed or in your stories. So if you get that right, you will win. Again, trial and error. If you can't figure it out, just mess with it until you get one you like. It's very simple to do. It takes a little bit of work, but you don't look like you strike me as a guy or a girl who's afraid to work. So with that said, I hope this video was helpful. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up. I make these videos in my spare time to help you be able to use your GoPros better to put epic social media content out. So that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, on the screen right now, you're gonna see a video. Being that you just watched this video about export settings, I'm assuming you want more info about GoPro videos. I put together an awesome little playlist for you. You can see it right on your screen. If you go ahead and click that, I have a lot more videos going over a lot more cool stuff with GoPros. Hope you guys enjoy it, and make sure to subscribe if you like this video. Peace.